All right, let me talk to you like you're sitting right next to me. You don't win a woman by chasing harder, you don't secure her by texting faster, and you definitely don't lock her down by trying to impress her every 5 minutes. Most men get this completely backwards. They think attraction is about doing more, proving more, showing more. But here's the controversial truth. If she genuinely likes you, you won't feel like you're fighting for her attention. Let that sink in. The biggest mistake men make is confusing effort with attraction. They believe if they just say the right lines, plan the perfect dates, or play the perfect alpha role, she'll eventually fall. But attraction doesn't work like a job interview. When a woman is truly into you, she invests, she shows up, she makes it easy. And that's what this whole idea means. If she does this, you already have her. Now, before you misunderstand, this isn't about ownership. You don't have anyone like a possession. What this really means is that the dynamic has shifted. You're no longer chasing. You're not guessing. You're not anxiously waiting for replies. Instead, she's meeting you halfway, sometimes even more than halfway. Here's another uncomfortable truth. When a woman is unsure about you, you'll feel it. The mixed signals, the slow replies, the vague plans, the maybe we'll see. But when she's certain, things move smoothly. There's clarity. There's consistency. And most men ignore the signs because they're too busy trying to impress instead of observing. In this video, I'm going to break down the real behaviors that show genuine interest, not fantasy, not social media advice, not manipulative tricks, just simple, clear signs that she's emotionally investing in you. Because once you understand these signs, you stop overthinking. You stop chasing women who aren't choosing you, and you start recognizing when someone is already leaning in. When a woman is investing her time, energy, and attention into you without being forced or persuaded, that's when the game changes. And if you know what to look for, you'll realize something powerful. Sometimes, you don't need to chase at all. You just need to notice. 1. She makes it easy for you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were applying for a position in her life, sending the perfect text, waiting hours for a reply, rereading conversations to see if you said something wrong, planning the perfect date just to get a maybe or a last-minute cancellation? Now let me flip that. Have you ever met a woman where everything just flowed? She replied. She showed up. She laughed easily. Plans didn't feel like negotiations. You didn't feel like you were chasing. You felt like you were participating. That difference right there, that's what we're talking about. Here's the controversial truth most men need to hear. When a woman genuinely likes you, she does not make it hard for you to move forward. Attraction simplifies things. Now, I'm not saying she'll have zero standards. I'm not saying she'll agree with everything you say, but what I am saying is this. You won't feel like you're constantly trying to unlock a door that's stuck. If she's interested, communication becomes easier. You won't be stuck decoding one-word replies. You won't be wondering if texting her is too much. She responds because she wants to. She engages because she enjoys it. Think about it logically. When you're interested in someone, do you intentionally make it difficult for them to see you? Do you ignore them for days? Do you act confused about plans? No. You lean in. You make space. Women do the same thing when they're genuinely attracted, and this is where a lot of men get misled. They think difficulty equals value. They think if she's hard to get, it means she's high quality. So they chase harder. They overextend. They overinvest. But difficulty often just means low interest. When she likes you, logistics become smoother. If she's busy, she suggests another day. If she misses your call, she calls back. If she can't make it, she reschedules. There's effort to maintain momentum. You won't feel like the only engine moving the train. And pay attention to how you feel around her. If you constantly feel anxious, unsure, or like you're walking on eggshells, that's not a strong sign. When a woman is genuinely into you, there's a baseline level of comfort. You're not second-guessing every move. Here's another key point. She doesn't punish you for showing interest. A woman who likes you won't suddenly withdraw just because you were clear about wanting to see her. She won't create artificial distance to test you. Instead, your clarity makes her more comfortable, not less. Making it easy doesn't mean she's desperate. It means she's aligned. Aligned interest creates smooth interaction. Now, does that mean there will never be disagreements? Of course not. But there's a big difference between normal life challenges and someone constantly creating friction. If every step forward feels like resistance, that's information. And the powerful part about understanding this is simple. You stop trying to convince. You stop performing. You stop chasing energy that isn't meeting you halfway. When she truly wants you in her life, she participates in building that connection. You're not dragging it forward. So remember this. Real attraction feels like cooperation, not competition. If she makes it easy for you to move closer, not because she has to, but because she wants to, that's your sign. You don't need to force doors that are meant to open. You just need to notice which ones already are.
2. She invests without being asked. Let me say something that might hit you a little. If you are always the one texting first, always the one planning, always the one pushing the conversation forward, you are not building a connection. You are carrying it. And that's exhausting. Now imagine this instead. You wake up and there's a message from her, not because she's bored, not because she needs something, but because you crossed her mind. She sends you a meme. She asks how your meeting went. She checks in after your workout. You didn't ask for that. She just did it. That's investment. Here's the controversial truth. When a woman truly likes you, she cannot help but contribute. She will naturally put energy into the connection. You won't have to beg for effort. You won't have to hint at wanting more communication. You won't have to teach her how to show up. She'll show up on her own. And let's break this down in simple terms. Investment means she gives time. Investment means she gives attention. Investment means she gives thought. If she's interested, she doesn't sit back waiting for you to entertain her. She participates. She asks questions. She remembers details about your life. She follows up on things you mentioned days ago.
You told her about an important presentation. She asks how it went. You mentioned your favorite food. She brings it up later. You said you were stressed. She checks in. That's not random. That's intentional attention. Now listen carefully. Effort is not about grand gestures. It's about consistency. Small repeated signs that she values the connection. A woman who is emotionally invested will make room for you in her routine. She won't disappear for days without explanation. She won't only reply when it's convenient. She finds moments to reach out. And here's something most men overlook. She initiates sometimes. Not all the time. It doesn't have to be 50-50 every single day. But if weeks go by and she never starts a conversation, never suggests a plan, never takes the lead in any way, that's not strong interest. When a woman likes you, she wants momentum too. She doesn't want to risk losing the connection by being passive, so she contributes. Now this is where it gets even more important. When she invests without being asked, it shows desire, not obligation. You didn't pressure her. You didn't guilt her. You didn't demand anything. She chose to give energy. That choice is powerful, because real attraction shows up in actions, not just words. She can say she likes you all day, but if she never initiates, never plans, never checks in, the words don't mean much. Pay attention to patterns. Does she make space for you in her life? Does she show curiosity about you? Does she do small things to stay connected? If the answer is yes, that's organic investment. And when you experience that, something shifts inside you. You stop feeling like you have to prove yourself. You stop overthinking your next move. You relax because you can see she's choosing to be there. Here's the bottom line. If she invests without being asked, you're not chasing. You're building. And building requires two people. If she's bringing bricks to the foundation without you having to request them, that's your sign. You're not alone in the effort. She's right there with you. 3. She prioritizes you over other options. Let's talk honestly for a second. You can feel when you're an option, and you can feel when you're a priority. You don't need screenshots. You don't need proof. You feel it in the way she moves. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When a woman truly wants you, you won't feel like you're competing with the world for her attention. Now, I'm not saying she won't have friends. I'm not saying she won't have a life. That's healthy. What I'm saying is this. When she values you, you won't constantly feel like you're fighting for a spot. You won't feel replaceable. A woman who prioritizes you makes decisions with you in mind. She doesn't keep you guessing about where you stand. She doesn't treat you like you're temporary while she explores endless possibilities. And let's make this very simple. If she likes you, she makes space. Not because you demanded it, not because you pressured her, but because she wants to. You won't always be the one adjusting your schedule. You won't always be the one compromising. You won't feel like you're squeezing into the leftover corners of her time. When someone values you, they naturally protect the connection. And here's where a lot of men get confused. They think, If she's popular, if she has options, that means I have to outperform everyone. So they try harder, they overextend, they start acting out of character just to stay relevant. But when she genuinely sees you as her choice, not just one of many, you won't need to compete. Her behavior will show it. You'll notice she's not entertaining unnecessary attention. You'll notice she doesn't create jealousy situations just to get a reaction. You won't feel like she's constantly reminding you that you could lose her at any moment. Instead, there's steadiness. You feel secure not because she said fancy words, but because her actions reduce doubt. And that's powerful. Because when you're a priority, the energy is different. Conversations feel intentional. Time together feels valued. You're not constantly proving why you deserve to be there. Now, let me say something important. Being prioritized doesn't mean control. It doesn't mean isolation. It doesn't mean ownership. It simply means mutual value. She chooses you. And when someone chooses you repeatedly through their actions, it builds confidence inside you. You stop overanalyzing. You stop worrying about invisible competitors. You stop feeling like one mistake will erase you. If you constantly feel like you're on thin ice, that's not strong prioritization. When a woman truly wants you in her life, she makes that clear through consistency. Not grand speeches, not dramatic declarations, just steady behavior that shows you matter. Here's the bottom line. When you are a priority, you feel considered. You feel secure. You feel respected. You don't feel like you're auditioning. And if she's moving in a way that makes you feel chosen, not compared, not tested, not rotated, then understand something. You're not just an option. You're her focus. 4. She talks about the future. Casually. Let me calm this down for a second and speak to you directly. Some of you miss the clearest signs because you're too busy looking for dramatic ones. You're waiting for a big speech, a label, a serious "where is this going" conversation. Meanwhile, she's already been showing you something important in small, quiet ways. When a woman sees you in her future, even in a simple way, she includes you in it. Not in a pressured way, not in a forced way. Casually, and here's where I need to challenge you a little. Some men panic when this happens. The moment she mentions something a few weeks or months ahead that includes you, they pull back. They assume it's too much, too fast, or they downplay it because they're afraid of responsibility. Relax. We're not talking about wedding plans. We're talking about subtle inclusion. When she talks about something happening next month and assumes you'll be there, that means something. When she mentions an event in the future and speaks as if you're naturally part of it, that means something. When she makes long-term jokes that include the two of you, that means something. People do not mentally extend someone into their future unless they feel secure about them in the present. And some of you ignore this because you're distracted by short-term validation. You care more about how she looks at you today than whether she sees you tomorrow. Wake up. Attraction isn't just about excitement, it's about continuity. If she constantly keeps things in the moment and never projects forward even slightly, that's information. But when she comfortably includes you in what's ahead, it shows she assumes stability. That assumption is powerful. It means she doesn't see you as temporary. Now here's the calm truth. This doesn't mean pressure. It doesn't mean obligation. It simply means she is mentally placing you in her life beyond right now, and you need to be mature enough to recognize it without overreacting. Some men sabotage good situations because they interpret forward thinking as clinginess. They've been taught that any emotional depth is weakness, so when they see genuine interest, they run. But a woman who sees you in her future is showing trust. She's signaling that she believes you'll still be around. That belief only happens when she feels emotionally safe and genuinely interested. And notice the tone when she does it. It's natural, it's smooth, it's not forced. She's not demanding guarantees. She's simply speaking as if you're part of the picture. That's not manipulation. That's alignment. Here's the advice you need to hear. Stop being so focused on chasing excitement that you overlook stability. If she's calmly weaving you into her future plans, even in small ways, that's not random. That's intentional. And if you're serious about building something meaningful, you need to recognize when someone is already building with you. You don't need fireworks to see the sign. You just need awareness. 5. She respects you. Let's finish this the right way. Attraction can start with chemistry. It can start with looks. It can start with excitement. But if there's no respect, none of it lasts. And here's something a lot of men don't want to admit. Sometimes you get so focused on whether she likes you that you forget to ask whether she respects you, because real interest is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's not chaotic. It's steady. When a woman truly values you, she treats you with consideration. She doesn't belittle you in front of others. She doesn't mock your goals. She doesn't constantly test your patience just to see how much you'll tolerate. She speaks to you like you matter. Now, let's slow this down. Respect shows up in tone. It shows up in consistency. It shows up in how she handles disagreements. If every conversation turns into a power struggle, that's not strong alignment. If she constantly tries to undermine you or make you feel small, that's not attraction, that's imbalance. A woman who genuinely wants you in her life does not try to destabilize you. She listens when you speak. She doesn't interrupt just to dominate the moment. She doesn't dismiss your opinions as irrelevant. Even when she disagrees, there's composure. And some of you need to hear this calmly, but clearly. Stop accepting disrespect just because you're afraid to lose her. If you feel like you have to tolerate sarcasm, public embarrassment, emotional games, or constant challenges to your character just to keep her around, that's not a win. When she respects you, she doesn't try to control you. She doesn't threaten to withdraw affection to manipulate outcomes. She doesn't play hot and cold just to feel powerful. There's emotional steadiness, and here's something important. Respect is mutual. When she respects you, it becomes easier for you to respect her. The connection feels balanced. You're not trying to dominate. She's not trying to dominate. You're simply operating on equal ground. That balance creates peace. You don't feel like you're defending your position in her life. You don't feel like you're constantly being evaluated. You feel trusted, and that's a major sign. Because a woman who trusts you enough to respect you sees value in you beyond surface-level attraction. She believes in your judgment. She honors your time. She considers your perspective. Now understand this clearly. Respect doesn't mean perfection. There will be disagreements. There will be moments of tension. That's normal, but the foundation remains intact. No games, no humiliation, no silent punishments, just maturity. If she consistently treats you like someone she admires and values, that's powerful. Not because it boosts your ego, but because it shows she sees you as long-term material. And when respect is present, you don't feel chaos. You feel stability. So if she speaks to you with care, handles conflict with composure, and moves in a way that protects the connection instead of testing it, you don't need to guess anymore. You're not just someone she's entertained by. You're someone she genuinely values. Let me end this with something that might sting a little. If you constantly feel confused, anxious, and unsure where you stand with her, she's probably not that into you. That's the controversial statement. Not because women are cold. Not because dating is unfair, but because genuine interest is not designed to keep you in emotional chaos. When a woman truly wants you, there's clarity in her behavior. She makes it easy. She invests. She prioritizes. She sees you in her future. She respects you. You don't have to decode it like a puzzle, and here's the part that really matters. Some of you stay in situations where you're barely tolerated, calling it potential. You convince yourself that if you just try harder, become better, say the right thing at the right time, she'll suddenly wake up and see your value. But attention is not the same as desire. Chemistry is not the same as commitment. And mixed signals are not hidden love. If you walk away from this understanding one thing, let it be this. Stop trying to win someone who isn't choosing you. Choose the woman who chooses you back. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a situation where she made it easy, or one where you realized you were forcing it? Drop your experience in the comments. Be honest. Share what you learned. I read them, and when I can, I reach out. Because this isn't just a video, it's a conversation. We're building awareness together, and once you understand these signs, you stop chasing confusion and start recognizing clarity.